on the bumper show.
And you are welcome. You just got in, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I want us to start with this information you earlier sent ahead that has to do with these staffers of the United Bank of Africa, UBA, that, you said they've been on the run after they were involved in some theft today. Okay. So tell us about it.
Well, the rate that I have before me here is a rate of arrest that was issued by the clerk of court at the Monrovia City Court and is dated June 27, 2024. And now they have three names, the suspects or defendants, but Samuel Clinton is currently behind bars, and Naomi Bansin and Namun Dao John, I left them on the bench.
Okay.
So probably the
so
lawyers.
One behind bars, and two you left two on the bench. Okay.
So I'm told that they all work in the operations department at the bank. And so this is a rate or complaint filed by the annual conference of the United Methodist Church, filed against them on grounds that they took 20,000, allegedly took 20,000 US dollars. In fact, they forged the articles of incorporation
of the church.
And so it was based on that the church went and filed a complaint, and the said property in question is the one situated on 12th Street. And so the church alleged that that account was credited to Orange, Liberia by the suspects to have their tower facility built on the compound of the Methodist Church situated on 12th Street. And so imagine this rate was issued since June 27. For every time they try looking out for them, it's an excuse. I would say an excuse, or maybe not exactly invading justice, but we say they have been on the run. But finally, the court got them today, and they are there. Well, as for going South Beach, probably if they don't file the requisite bond, they might be remanded at the Monrovia Central Prison. But if they file the requisite bond, either a valid criminal appearance bond or something that we call 13.5 in the law, that means anybody can, not anybody, but prominent people can stand for the suspects, either a church pastor, an imam, or some prominent community member, then that will prevent them. But other than that, probably they might be on their way or they are going through the process. But looking at the time, it's almost like after court hours, and probably the office of LRA at the court to where bonds fees are being paid, I'm sure by now is closed because of the time. And so maybe tomorrow we'll follow up, or later on we'll follow up as to whether they were able to secure a bond or being sent to jail.
Okay. And before we go further with the case with the former Chief Justice, the police just dismissed and charged one of his officers, Trawali, for, allegedly killing a minor in the rehab community here in Painesville. So I'm just wondering whether he has been to court already.
No, I haven't seen him around there because normally when they are being brought from the Liberia National Police at the court, we are giving tip off ahead of that.
Okay.
Yes, tip off by some of our insiders to say XYZ is coming, or we're bringing XYZ at the court. But for the hours that I've been around since this morning, I haven't seen him. And so probably they are still, though the investigation has been wind down, and probably anytime this week or very soon, we expect to be seeing that officer at the court.
Okay, but sometime, in January, the was it the Criminal Code A that sentenced the former Chief Justice?
Yeah, it was Criminal Code A. It was last year, December, just few days to Christmas. That case ended.
Okay.
At the level of the lower court.
Okay.
It was a jury trial, and so the jurors found Gloria and 3 other family members guilty of murdering Chalo Musu. And so her lawyers representing her took an appeal. And so that appeal, obviously, when the case is being heard, and then an appeal comes in on an exception to the judge's ruling, obviously, whatever ruling emanated from that case is put on hold until the Supreme Court can hear that matter. So they took an appeal, and so they filed before the Supreme Court. And tomorrow, all eyes will be set on the arguments at the Supreme Court. But some pundits around the court that I talked to earlier this morning, and we will have some of our lawyers recuse themselves. Like, for example, the current Solicitor General, who is Councillor Augustine Fire, was the lead lawyer in that case. And so, by virtue of the law, he cannot be on that case. So tomorrow we will see him recusing himself. And Councillor Jonathan Masekwe was also on that case, who was appointed as Executive Director of the World Crimes Court. So we don't expect to find them around there tomorrow. But she had a very huge team of lawyers, the likes of some former associate justices like Kabina Jane, Francis Johnson Morris, and it's in Narity. I'm sure they are the ones, or they will be the ones proffering an argument tomorrow before the full bench. And so tomorrow at 11 a.m., all eyes are set on the argument. And then we're going to be there to hear from both sides, because prosecution maintained that they did commit the act and they were guilty. And so defense are saying, no, our clients weren't guilty of that. And so both of them are going to argue before the full bench. And then obviously the bench will reserve ruling for another time to come up with the final ruling.
Yeah. So as it is, it's not about, reducing the life sentence, but it's either to set her free while the, prosecution wants to keep the life sentence.
Yeah, it's not about maybe setting her free for now, because remember, she was convicted. Yes, at the lower court, and they were all convicted. They were sentenced for life or to life, the four of them. And so it's left with the court after hearing the arguments, because remember, Jab, the Supreme Court don't go around looking for cases. It's the lower courts that bring cases up to the Supreme Court. And so whatever files that emanates from the lower court is what the court going to look in, and after hearing the argument, to come down with the judgment. And once the court pass on anything from that level, it becomes an opinion. And so we're going to see, based on the arguments tomorrow, that they will proffer from both sides, prosecution and defense. We're going to see what's going to happen next, because normally you don't speak for the court, because you don't know what's in the minds of the associate justices and the chief justices, because after arguments and hearing from both sides, they have to go in a deliberation room, maybe decide on the matter, and then come up with a ruling. And once that ruling comes up from the Supreme Court, it becomes an opinion, and that's the final. So we're going to wait and see what's going to happen. Probably they're going to rule before the October term, or maybe they're going to reserve it until the October term. So tomorrow we are waiting to see, based on the arguments.
And one thing I'm thinking about is how the initial trial from the lower court was marred by, sentiments. Sometimes you will find people on the grounds of the Temple of Justice protesting, singing and doing a whole lot of stuff. Do we expect to see that, because this is just an argument?
I don't think so, because if they have a matter, remember that place, the Temple of Justice, is in a political area, and so they have court officers and securities assigned there. I don't think they're going to allow people to go about maybe chanting, or maybe saying things in favor or against. But however, whatever the case is, I'm sure a lot of them would like to go up at the Supreme Court to sit and listen, and maybe in their opinions, everybody going to be discussing it their way until the court comes out.
Okay, so only tomorrow, just
yes,
the argument,
for
just
the argument,
for tomorrow.
Yeah, just for tomorrow.
Okay, so
yes,
after tomorrow, then we wait to
hear the ruling here from the full bench. Yeah, as to whether that decision from the lower court will stand or it will be overturned. That's two things. Either they reaffirm the lower court's decision or overturn it. So it's two things. So we're going to wait and see how it's going to work out.
Okay. All right, Fabi. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. Thanks for the information there from the court.
Thank you.
Okay, Fabi Nkuya is our reporter at the Temple of Justice. She's been here telling us what we need to know about what will be happening tomorrow at the court. Former Chief Justice Gloria Mususcat and three others, they were sentenced to life in prison for murder of Chalo Musu, but that case now is now gone to has now gone to the Supreme Court, and they are going to be arguing that tomorrow. And following tomorrow, like you heard Fabian say, we will wait for the final ruling into that case, and that case will be laid to rest, because once the Supreme Court make any decision on that one, and that will be